Our next comedian is making his showcase debut here tonight. He's performed all over the country in Las Vegas, New York, and right all over the DMV. You can follow him at @Tom_Myers on Twitter. Please give it up, Tom Myers!
DC, how we doing tonight? I tell you what, I love coming down to this area. I really do. It's good to perform in DC because, as Chris said, I do a lot of traveling. I've done a lot of traveling to New York and Los Angeles recently, and they're big entertainment areas. So after a while, you get jaded being out there. You know, it's everything out there in Los Angeles and even in New York. It's filled with high expectations, big dreams, eventually culminating in broken promises and bitterness. So I decided to leave all that and come back to our nation's capital. But no, I am from this area. I'm from Maryland. It's a pretty interesting state to be from. Maryland, the official state flower is the black-eyed Susan. I find that very fascinating. You know you're from a tough state and their official state flower has the same name as a domestic violence victim. But I do a lot of traveling, which is fun. But I travel to some really podunk areas. I mean, areas like in the middle of nowhere, like areas where, let's say, you're on a car trip, you're driving down the road in the middle of nowhere. You go ahead and pull over into this tiny little tumble-down shack to go ahead and get something to eat, or in my case, is the venue where I happen to be performing that night. Because I tell you what, my agent rocks, man. He's worth every bit of that 10% that I send him. But it's one of those areas where you go in there and everybody is at the bar watching TV, and the TV is tuned to Deliverance. And they start cheering during the squeal like a pig scene. Afterwards, they come up to you, you're pretty funny, and you got a pretty little mouth. That's, hey, is that my butt? I'm out of here. But I love traveling, man, I really do. I love traveling to the South as well because they have fireworks stands galore. They do. Even going across the river into Virginia, ton of fireworks stands down there. I love visiting fireworks stands. These guys at these fireworks stands are very knowledgeable, very helpful. This one guy at this fireworks stand came up to me, and he said, "Now, son, if you have any questions about fireworks, just talk to me, all right? I've been working at this fireworks stand for 5 years. I know every single thing there is to know. Count 2, 4, 5 years. That's how I count now." One of Sandusky's sons is actually in the front office for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, that's a very, very important position, and his dad's very infamous. Like, if any news person ever interviews that guy, just imagine. Like, what sort of questions would you ask him? And how would he answer those questions? I mean, he can't just come out and say, "Oh, yeah, well, Dad was always on my ass growing up." But we're amused by the Penn State story in Baltimore, because in Baltimore, one of our sportscasters is actually named Jerry Sandusky. Like, different spelling of his first name, not related to the guy at all, but he's gotten a lot of phone calls and emails about this, and it started to really wear on him, because, he used to love the attention when he would go out. And now, he's out in public, so, "Hey, it's Jerry Sandusky, hey!" Now he's like,
No.
So I'm just worried one day he's going to be on his newscasts, and he's going to end this way. Just one day, he's just going to snap, and he's just going to say, "And that's your Orioles and Ravens update. For WBAL News, I'm Jerry Sandusky, not the same one who touches kids!" But, I do this, which is fun. And in addition to doing stand-up, I also do a lot of charity work. I work for a very worthwhile organization called Speed Meals on Wheels. Very fun organization. We drop cases of Dexatrim outside people's houses. We go back next week, they're on their front porches. "That's all right, we ain't hungry this week!" I do that. I'm very kind-hearted. I always like helping people less fortunate for me. I had a bunch of old clothes, gave them away to Goodwill. bunch of old coat hangers left over. Donated them to my local women's health clinic. So they were as disappointed as you guys were. Oh, because they were all plastic hangers. So. But you know, in addition to doing this, which I love, before I started doing comedy, I went to a 4-year school. I was able to go there because of federal grants and student loans and scholarships, which are all federally funded, which means they come from your tax dollars. So, thank you very much for the wonderful educational opportunities you provided for me, ladies and gentlemen. Instead of getting a real job to pay off student loans, I go ahead and do this. If the Tea Party ever wants to have an example of government waste in action, they just take around my headshot. Right. But I studied history when I was in school, and my favorite piece of history to study was the American Revolution. I love studying that. It wasn't because it was the laying of the foundations of democracy or how ordinary men can rise up to fight against the evils of tyranny. I like the people who were able to grow an incredible amount of pot back then, make stuff out of pot, and get away with it. Yes! Love that. They say a lot of our founding fathers actually smoked pot. Yeah, I don't think so. Our founding fathers that smoked pot, that midnight ride of Paul Revere would have gone completely different. He would have just been galloping down the street like, "Hey everybody, someone's coming, but I forget who." I see a lot of weird stuff when I travel. Like, I go to gas stations, they sell the weirdest stuff in gas stations. They sell leather jackets at gas stations now. And some of these, like, I have been in desperate financial straits, but I've never been so desperate that I would buy a leather jacket from a gas station. I would never do that. Like, imagine if you were to wear one, and imagine if you're a part of a fashion show. Can you imagine the commentary that takes place at that fashion show? Just be like,
"Yes, the sunglasses are from Dolce & Gabbana. The shirt is a polo by Ralph Lauren. The pants are from Abercrombie & Fitch, and the leather jacket is from the Texaco Mini Mart. And it was free with a 10-gallon purchase."
You guys, that's my time. I want to thank you guys for coming out and supporting live comedy. My name is Tom Ryan.